think we are ready to get started then. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. On behalf of my team, Alicia Bryce, Jack Rattery, Craig Prince, and Aspen Turney, and my colleagues at the Institute for Nonprofits, I welcome each of you to this event that celebrates the culmination of the work by the 2019-20 cohort of NC State Social Innovation Fellows. I'm really happy to welcome some special guests this evening. Provost Warwick Arden and Dean Jeffrey Braden will be hopping on soon. He's wrapping up another meeting. Senior Vice Provost Tom Miller, Associate Dean for Research and Engagement Tom Birkeland, and Interim Director of the Institute for Nonprofits Trace Reed, along with several other university colleagues and supportive allies of the fellows. Thank you so much for being with us. It's really my honor to kick off what I know will be an inspiring evening. This is not what we had hoped or planned, but I think you will find it inspiring and hopefully really brighten your day and brighten your week. In the midst of so much disruption and uncertainty, this is truly a time like no other. When I introduced these students in the fall, I borrowed a phrase from one of our former fellows, that we had embarked on the messy work of hope. At that time, we had no idea how messy things would truly become. But I cannot even begin to express my gratitude for the determination and resilience of these students, the mentors, the venture partners. You all have continued to show up even as our world has turned a bit upside down. And I think Dean Braden has joined us now too. Welcome. Clearly the world needs you now more than ever. So in just a few minutes, you will hear from NC State's third cohort of Social Innovation Fellows, an incredibly talented and passionate group of change leaders. They have been tasked to share their project journey as well as what individually and collectively they've learned along the way. Our group of 5 devoted team mentors will provide brief introduction. It's now my pleasure to invite Provost Arden to say a few words. Provost Arden?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for inviting me to spend a few minutes with you here at the beginning, and then I'm looking forward to each of the presentations. This is really an opportunity to celebrate 25 very, very talented fellows and their 5 teams. These are students who, on top of all of their regular academic demands, have committed many, many hours to becoming our next generation of change leaders. So I give you lots of kudos. I wish we could be together in person. Is usually got some tasty food and a glass of wine, which is awfully nice this time of the day. But we'll make the best of what we have. We wolf packers are resilient and flexible, and if nothing else. So it's just its 3rd year of operation. The NC State Social Innovation Fellows has really established itself as a campus leader in offering students a very powerful learning experience that enables them to dive deeply into complex and, quite frankly, sometimes the messy world of solving our great challenges. I think we often talk about great challenges of the world as though they are some esoteric thing, and right now, we're all living through something, quite frankly, that touches all of our lives very, very significantly, and is clear that the final solutions that are developed with respect to COVID are not going to come from any one narrow discipline. They're going to come from a group of people working together, quite frankly, dedicated to helping us be more sustainable and more thoughtful about the way we do things. So the fellows have worked in partnership with faculty researchers, nonprofit leaders, industry experts, all engaged in addressing major challenges connected to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, a set of 17 humanitarian and environmental goals to transform our world. And as a university with an integrated and hands-on approach to problem solving, NC State embraces the values and the framework of the UN Sustainable Development Goals through a number of our programs, and I'm proud of the leadership the fellows are taking in this area. A sign of their leadership role on campus includes winning the 2020 NC State Sustainability Award in the department category earlier this month. So that's something very significant that you all should be very proud of. Fellows program also does something else that we know is very important but difficult to do, and that's offer students a really interdisciplinary experience, working and learning from peers all across our campus, across multiple disciplines, across multiple class years. NC State believes that all our students can be change makers as entrepreneurs, as intrapreneurs, and most importantly, as engaged citizens. The skills they've learned as fellows, resilience, cultural competencies, the value of teamwork, how to think creatively, how to allow for failure, will serve them well throughout their lives. And as I hope you're well aware, NC State is leading the nation in undergraduate offerings in entrepreneurship. So we've been recognized by Princeton Review and Entrepreneur Magazine as the number 10 program in undergraduate entrepreneurship in the country. And this is an extraordinary experience. I think we were just listed in the top 20 for the first time 3 years ago, and already we've climbed to number 10. So on behalf of the university, I want to thank not just the students, but the mentors, the venture partners for your commitment and support of our students and the work of this transformational initiative. The Social Innovation Fellows Program could not be successful without, I know, the hundreds of hours that you have spent in mentoring, venture coaching, and engagement with our students. So it truly is a remarkable program. I really enjoy each year getting to listen to these initiatives, getting to listen to the way students have approached these real world problems. I'm looking forward to tonight's presentation. So thank you. And with that, I'll ask the team mentors to introduce their teams.
Thank you, Provost Arden. I just want you to know how much it means to all of us that you're with us tonight, because there's a lot of demands, I know, on your plate, and it means a great deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Happy to be here.
Thank you. We're going to get started, and I would first like to introduce Raj Narayan, who will be introducing our Reborn team. Raj?
Thanks, Elizabeth, and good evening, everyone. It's so great to see everyone through Zoom. My name is Raj Narayan. I'm the Associate Director of the Keenan Institute for Engineering, Technology, and Science. And along with my colleague, Tara Spivey, who's joining us, who spent the year with us, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be partners with you. Keenan Institute is one of the funding partners of the Social Innovation Fellows Program since its inception. I've been pleased to be a part of the mentor team for the last 3 years. I should let you know also that Tara Spivey was just recently selected for the William C. Friday Fellows for Human Relations and will be starting her own fellowship journey this fall. And so I'm very grateful to this team for giving us both the opportunity to work with you. So let me introduce the team. We have Jay Chen, senior, graduating, a business administration major. Pooja Lennon, sophomore business administration major. Sasha Pereira, junior biological sciences major. And Katie Yoon, who's a sophomore civil engineering major. In addition, we had Catherine Chirichilla, who is on a co-op with Duke Energy. She served as a senior fellow in the first semester. And this semester, we've been very pleased to have Meghna Subramanian as a senior fellow. And also working with the team, Emily Neville, who is the CEO and founder of Reborn Clothing. And let me just briefly reflect and say that the Social Innovation Fellows to me is a wonderful experiential learning opportunity and adaptive leadership. And the adaptive leadership learning opportunity is really defined by the we. But I want to point out 3 I's that really fundamentally frame some of the work of our Social Innovation Fellows Reborn Clothing team this year. And that includes intentionality, integrity, and inclusiveness. And each of our fellows this year worked very hard in their project to reflect fundamental aspects of adaptive leadership that set this journey in motion. Jay, you brought a tremendous amount of mindfulness. I know that was part of the framework that you worked from, and that mindfulness enabled us to explore all the various aspects of adaptive leadership, and not only the business, but also the sustainability aspects. Katie, you always brought clarity to our work, quiet, but resilient, and always bringing focus to the subjects that we're exploring. Pooja, you were always very disciplined in your approach to analysis and helping us understand and hone in on the specific priorities that needed to be addressed in the context of what Reborn Clothing was seeking to improve from its business context. And Sasha, I feel like you demonstrated a tremendous amount of engagement. You were the glue that often brought the team together. These are aspects of leadership that I hope that you all will continue to carry forward in your leadership, in your student lives, and also in your professional lives. And I'm sure that in the time to come, many organizations will benefit from that. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the team. It's been wonderful working with you and for you. And I hope that we'll stay in touch for a long time to come. Thank you.
Okay, hey guys, my name is Pooja Lennon. I'm a sophomore studying business admin with a focus in marketing.
Hi everyone, my name is Sasha Pereira and I'm a junior majoring in zoology.
I'm Katie and I'm a sophomore majoring in biological engineering.
Hey everyone, I'm Jay. I'm a senior and I'm majoring in business marketing. We're really excited to be presenting to you our final presentation for the Reborn Clothing Company. If you didn't know, Reborn is an upcycling company based in North Carolina and was started by Emily Neville, who is an NC State alum. They became successful because Emily soon recognized that there was a gap between the textile industry for upcycled products, and that is how Reborn got its start. So in the beginning, Reborn started as a business-to-consumer company. They transformed people's old clothing into something that was newer, something more usable. And after a while, they experienced rapid growth that eventually allowed them to take this opportunity and transform it to a larger scale. After that, it led to numerous partnerships with different universities and corporations, including NC State, that has allowed them to expand their services. And so Reborn prides themselves on being able to provide sustainable solutions to these different companies and universities to help them reduce their amount of textile waste.
And so when we met with Emily and the Reborn team early last semester, we decided that a great place to start with narrowing the scope of our project was through listening to the voice of the consumer. And so our team mentor Raj introduced us to a group of high school students who were studying upcycling in a business class. And we met up with them and conducted a focus group to learn more about the values and decision-making factors that went into their decision to purchase from a company. And so our main takeaway from that was that they really like to see companies that were invested and committed to sustainability because they, as a consumer, wanted to see the individual impact they had on the environment through purchasing directly from that company. And so from the focus group, we discovered that there was a missing link in Reborn's storytelling process, and that this was an opportunity to bridge that disconnect that existed between the intended brand story of Reborn as well as the customer perception. And so to figure out how to bridge that gap, we started looking into other companies that were leading the field of social innovation because we wanted to try and figure out how exactly could we quantify and communicate Reborn's impact on the environment. And so some of the organizations that were mentioned during the focus group were For Ocean, which takes discarded plastic from the ocean and other waterways and converts it into wearable products, as well as Hungry Harvest, which takes unwanted produce from grocery stores and compiles individual customized packages for customers. And so we looked at the websites of both organizations, and we noticed that front and center were numbers. And so that meant that these organizations had established metric systems, which not only held the company accountable in saying that it was sustainable, but it also allowed the consumer to see just what kind of an impact purchasing from the company would have on the environment. And from there, we were able to establish our theory of change. And our two goals for this project were to, one, change attitudes and perceptions about Reborn's brand, and two, establish sustainability as a core company value from the eyes of the consumer. And to do so, we decided that we needed to first identify what metrics the target consumer could relate to the most, as well as figuring out how to use those metrics to convey the value of Reborn products.
So metrics are an important form of storytelling because they can show the consumer what the brand values and communicate Reborn's transformative process of giving value to products that previously did not have any. So communication is valuable for consumers because they do care about the personal impact when consuming. So our Apex High School students, Rachel and Eva, said they find importance in brand values that resonate with them, whether or not they'll be helping someone by purchasing from the brand, and whether the brand contributes to a cause they care about. As for the impact of using metrics, quantifying the impacts of products through statistics shows consumers the value of their purchases. This has both a societal and an individual benefit. This showcases Reborn's sustainability and helps identify areas of inefficiency and efficiency, and it also provides individuals useful products and the satisfaction of contributing to a greater movement. So communicating metrics helps Reborn gain credibility, create positive brand image, and strong brand loyalty, all of which will help Reborn be more successful in the long run. So where we are now, we've compiled all of our findings throughout the year into a final deliverable report of how Reborn can qualitatively and quantitatively strengthen the brand value of Reborn by providing data to support company credibility and enhance customer.
As for telling our story and journey mapping, we want to emphasize the process of constant experimenting and maintaining perseverance. When our group first came together and began exploring our new challenge, each member of the group, stimulated by creativity that could ensue, examined broad aspects of sustainable startup businesses. Often our mind were sent into overdrive during each SIF meetings with excitement and ideas that kept flowing with all the possibilities. There has been racing thoughts too fast to get them on paper, but it still seemed that we had months of no ideas and where we should even start. The more research we did, we had to make constant decisions in which paths we were to choose to narrow down our goals. And it became clear that we cannot choose all, but that we had to weigh our sustainability values and business goals to work with our venture partners. A lot of time was spent exploring during most of our journey, and it was the process that we learned the most from being SIF fellows, which was learning to display perseverance towards achieving our goals.
Awesome. And now we'll move on to individual experiences. So personally, for me, I think the Social Innovation Fellows program has been an incredible learning experience. It's been filled with different challenges, highlights, and obstacles along the way. And, along this journey, there just seems to be so many different issues and problems that we need to solve. But along that path, I've come to realize that I'm not alone in trying to solve these problems, and that, or more so, that we're not alone when trying to solve these problems. And that is why I'm inspired by our collective force and the innovative mindsets of everyone here, because it is only through working together and collaborating can we make real change.
The biggest challenges I faced was trying to figure out not only which part of the startup business I have to focus on, but how, and more importantly, which angles I have to go about it, because I was concerned about what kind of implication that would make. To me, it was a long process to get my mind together to solve some different sorts of challenges I would have not normally have encountered. So I think the biggest takeaway that I got from Messiah Follows was that I learned the type of creativity and adaptability that were required to face my challenges.
Through SIF, I've gained a lot of insight on how to bring innovative ideas to life to provide solutions to problems I'm very passionate about fixing. I've also been shown that there are many people and different organizations working on the same issues that I want to work on. So I realized there are different ways that I can get involved in college and even beyond that.
So I've learned that no matter what career path I end up choosing, there are elements of entrepreneurship that will help me achieve my professional goals, especially because there are so many problems in society today that are multifaceted and interdisciplinary. And so in particular, I've found that exercises like pain point identification and stakeholder mapping are really useful no matter what the scope of the project is or the phase that it is in. And so with that, this endeavor would not have been possible without the unconditional support and mentorship of many people. And we would like to especially recognize Raj and Tara, who were our team mentors from the Keenan Institute, our venture partner and the CEO of Reborn Clothing Company, Emily, our senior fellow mentors, Meghana and Catherine, and as well as the entire SIF administrative team. So Elizabeth, Alicia, Craig, Jack, and Aspen. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate your dedication and hard work to this program. And so this was truly a transformative experience, and we've all grown tremendously through our participation in the Social Innovation Fellows program. And we would like to conclude our presentation with one of our favorite quotes from one of our favorite people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reborn team. That was awesome. Okay, next up we have Andrew DeMayo with Water in the Fields.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And a big thank you to the students, staff, and professionals gathered here tonight. My name's Andrew DeMayo, and I'm a lifelong learner, teaching and practicing innovation design and entrepreneurship. This is my first year serving as a team mentor, and when asked, I jumped at the opportunity because I knew the amazing and special things that were going on here. And I got to say that the experience exceeded any notion that I might have had before of what it was just way beyond that. I can honestly say that I learned more from these amazing students and the program content and all the guest speakers than certainly I gave back in mentorship. It's a sincere pleasure to introduce the team Water in the Fields. Their venture partner is the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry located in Dunn, North Carolina, and a big thank you to this organization for all they do to serve migrant and seasonal farm workers, especially now as our food supply depends on these important people. And so some introductions for the team. I want to thank the team's senior fellow, Craig Prince. Craig graduated from NC State with a degree in electrical engineering and a minor in Spanish. More importantly, though, Craig is a poet, and he's got a special gift of connection. Also, senior fellow is just another way of saying mentor for the team mentor. So thank you, Craig. Hannah Bain is majoring in communication, Spanish, and international studies with a minor in nonprofit studies. She plans to work in the public sector in the near term and has a long-term goal of pursuing a master's in public health with a concentration in epidemiology. Prithvi Gidaraju is majoring in biological sciences with a concentration in integrative physiology and neurobiology and minoring in Spanish and business. He plans to work as a dental assistant while undertaking an entrepreneurial endeavor focused on bringing sustainable materials and products to healthcare professionals. Prithvi's long-term goals are to become a dentist and own a clinic of his own that he can focus on public health. Olivia Merritt is majoring in natural resources policy and administration with a minor in wildlife science. She's currently looking for a summer job. She's set to graduate in May of 2021 and is interested in working in the areas of food policy and land conservation. Suri Martinez is majoring in fashion and textile management with a concentration in fashion development and product management. She would like to work as a technical pattern maker or print designer. In the long term, her interests are to be more involved with nonprofit organizations and startups. Last but not least is Miriam Shah. She's a junior majoring in chemical engineering. After she graduates, Miriam is interested in working in the aerospace industry. This team worked together like a well-oiled machine, scheduling team meetings that accomplished more in an hour than most professional settings I've witnessed. It was especially meaningful for this team to do something within the scope of this fellowship, as well as have a long-term impact, and you'll see that realized in their work. It's been a sincere pleasure working with you. And with that, I'd like to hand the Zoom mic to the team. Thank you.
All right, thank you for those introductions, Andrew. Again, I'm Hannah Bain. I'm a senior majoring in communications, Spanish, and international studies with a minor in nonprofit studies.
Hello, everyone. My name is Prithvi, and I'm a senior studying neurobiology with minors in Spanish and business administration.
My name is Miriam Shah. I'm a junior studying chemical engineering.
Hi, I'm Olivia Merritt, and I'm studying natural resources policy and administration.
I'm Suri Martinez. I'm a senior in fashion and textile management with a concentration in fashion development and product management.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. We are Team Water in the Fields, and this year we worked with the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry.
According to the CDC, farm workers are 20 times more likely to die from heat-related illnesses than the average American. So this is a statistic that our team actually presented at the mid-year presentation, and it's a data point that we want to bring back into the spotlight because we think that it truly highlights the importance in the disparities and the challenges and really the arduous lifestyle that farm workers endure on a daily basis, just so that you and I can have food on our table. So when I say what are some challenges that these farm workers are experiencing, I want to take a moment and have everyone go through this imagination exercise, right? So I want everyone to imagine waking up at 4 a.m. on a Monday morning before the sun's up and hopping onto a school bus with 30 to 40 other farm workers. So this, mind you, that you're getting onto a school bus because you don't have access to your own transportation. So this school bus will take you to a massive plot of land and drop you off. And at 5 a.m., you're going to start working and picking up one fruit at a time and putting it into your basket while you have the chance of being exposed to pesticides as the temperature is rising 70, 80, 90, 100 degrees, and your body just really starts to deteriorate over time. So even if you had the chance to take a break, you're actually incentivized not to take a break because farm workers are paid by the piece and not by the hour. So you continue to work tirelessly to make a living. It's 7 p.m. now. The sun is just about to set. You hop back up onto that school bus, and then it drops you off at this dorm-style communal building, and your body is absolutely exhausted. You decide to drink a couple of beers with the other farm workers to cool off, as you rightfully should. And then you're back at it the next day at 4 a.m. And this is the lifestyle that farm workers are living through 6 out of 7 days of the week. So when our team realized that these are some of the challenges that farm workers go through, we knew that we had to do something to help. So we really asked ourselves a very simple question, and that question was, how do we improve the well-being of farm workers?
We went throughout the year really emulating the mantra of the Social Innovation Fellows: discover, design, and do good. The first piece was discover. So we did a lot of research and did activities such as concept mapping that you can see at the top left corner. We got post-it notes and wrote down themes and then grouped them together. Then we went through the design phase, which you'll hear more about in our deliverables section. And overall, throughout the year, we just want to do good for this group of people. As Fred mentioned, their lives are so difficult, and yet these people don't have a voice in government. And we hope that our work will have and make a good impact for these voiceless people that deserve to be heard.
So we started this year off by focusing on one main issue, which was farm workers' lack of access to water in the fields. And EFWM had worked with a previous student group to develop an insulated water carrier which you can see pictured here on the slide. And that water carrier was supposed to allow farm workers to keep water on them while also keeping their hands free to work in the fields. As Prid had mentioned earlier, this was huge for farm workers because now they didn't have to walk a quarter mile up the row, take time off of work to go fill up a water bottle and bring it back or go get a cup of water. So this was really important to them. So at the beginning of the year, EFWM asked us to evaluate this water carrier. They wanted to know if it was being used and if it could be improved. And so we began researching some of the issues surrounding migrant farm workers and also talking to some of the farm workers. And one of the biggest things that we discovered during this phase was that this issue was much larger than simply a lack of access to water in the fields. And this taught us how important it is to understand the nuances and the multiple layers of really complex structural issues before jumping into developing a solution.
So our initial research in the project showed that farm workers faced a large variety of issues, and we narrowed the problems down to several main themes ranging from public policy, culture problems, illnesses, and education. And in the beginning, we were trying to come up with a solution for all of these issues. So after receiving feedback from the ministry and the social innovation labs that we did, we learned that it would be better if we focused our resources onto one to two key issues. And that way we'd be able to make more of an impact rather than trying to find a solution for everything.
And through our research, we found that dehydration was one of the biggest problems among the farm workers. So we decided to focus on this issue. And we wanted to visit the farm workers in Dunn to ask them a few questions regarding their use of the water carriers that the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry had distributed to them earlier. We also wanted to make sure that the farmers also actually faced water-related issues and viewed dehydration as a problem before we made any further assumptions. From our visit to Dunn, we realized the importance of connecting with the people we are trying to help in order to actually understand the situation and issue at hand. And we realized that sometimes an issue that we believe exists within a community is not seen as an actual issue by the community itself.
So going off of what Suri was saying, our trip to Dunn was an extremely monumental part of our project. Before we got the opportunity to go to Dunn, from the data that we collected and from the data that was presented to us, our team was extremely kind of infatuated with the idea that this was a hydration problem and that if we came up with solutions such as water carriers or clothes that would reduce UV radiation, then we could solve the problem. But what we realized through our experiences at Dunn, North Carolina, was that this is more of a systemic problem, and it's not just hydration. So as you can see in one of the bullet points right there, the first one is power imbalance. So when our team went to Dunn and talked to the farm workers face-to-face, we noticed that there was a clear power imbalance. A lot of the questions that we were asking, we just could not get an answer. And it seemed like the farm workers were not as receptive until a crew leader kind of gave them the nod. So we noticed that there was a crew leader who acted as a mediator between the farmer and the farm worker. So clearly there was a power imbalance that is creating issues. Next, we have community norms. I talked about this a little earlier during that imagination exercise, that a lot of farm workers will come back and drink a beer with their fellow farm workers as they rightfully deserve to with the amount of work that they're doing. But unfortunately, it's not a great healthy choice because the next day it could lead to even more dehydration. Next, we have lack of sanitation. Our team actually got the opportunity to walk into some of those dorm-style buildings that I was talking about, and they're kind of broken down buildings. They are living in extremely close quarters, and they're sharing a lot of communal aspects such as kitchens and bathrooms, and obviously that's a huge public health hazard. And then finally, we have inadequate policies. So again, I mentioned this earlier, but farm workers are paid by the piece and not by the hour. And so, if you're the farm worker and you have a choice between sitting down and picking as many strawberries as you can, you're going to want to keep working so that you can make as much money as you can to improve your well-being. So when we were there, it was kind of an experience that took us back. We knew that we had to shift our perspective, change our mindset about how to solve this problem. And we came back to NC State and we brainstormed new ideas and we said, we're going to redefine the scope of our problem. So what do I mean by the scope? Like I said, we were really focused on coming up with solutions to reduce dehydration. But as Olivia is going to talk to you guys about with the deliverables that our team has come up with, we shifted our focus towards the overall health and wellness of farm workers.
So this brings us to our deliverables. We have a short-term deliverable that's a bandana, and we did this in 2 different ways. We started the creation of the bandana right after winter break, and I realized that sometimes a fresh start to a project can really increase productivity and creativity of a project. So the bandana has 2 purposes. One is practical because it's really good for farm workers to put on their face or necks to cover their skin from the sun. Also, it has a message of empowerment and reminding them to drink water. So we've had 2 quotations on the bandana. One is in Spanish, and it reminds farm workers to drink water because endurers drink water. And then we also have an English one that says, to those working in acres, not hours. And this really goes along with the policy piece. We want to empower these farm workers and validate the hard work that they're doing. And we also have small designs that are familiar to the farm workers that will, remind them of the work that they do, and they can relate to this bandana. And for the second deliverable, this is a more long-term solution that can help us define what the issues are for farm workers. We use the first $500 to print bandanas, and the second $500 we will donate to the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry so that they can do these incentivized interviews. Often farm workers are asked to do surveys and they aren't compensated at all, and we wanted to change this because their input is very valuable. And we created an interview so that the communication between the ministry and the farm workers can be increased, and the ministry can understand what issues are that are facing the farm workers.
So where are we now? We had initially planned to visit the farm workers towards the end of March to conduct the incentivized interviews, but unfortunately, due to social distancing, we weren't able to go through with it. But although we weren't able to conduct the interviews, we did translate and revise the questionnaire guide so that hopefully in the future, the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry is able to use it. And we also had planned to personally hand out the bandanas to the farm workers, but instead we ordered them and we're having them shipped directly to Dunn. Working with the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry, our group realized that effective and long-term change doesn't happen overnight, and that there will most likely not be immediate results. Personally, at the beginning of the semester, I was already looking forward to what the end results would look like, and that wasn't anything like what it is now. But we hope that the tools that we were able to come up with will help the ministry in the future and will help bring awareness to the issues that the farm workers face.
So we want to say one last huge thank you to everyone for being here tonight and listening to our presentation. Thank you to everyone at Social Innovation Fellows for challenging us and empowering us to tackle really difficult issues. Thank you to Juan and Larissa with the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry, not only for being flexible and working with us and coming to our meetings, but also for supporting this very marginalized population and giving them a voice, especially during this very difficult time that we are all facing. And then lastly, a huge thank you to Andrew and Craig for always providing us with amazing advice and feedback. We really couldn't have done it without you. This has been such a huge team effort, and we enjoyed every second of it.
Thank you, team. And I also want to thank Juan for being with us on the call tonight, and all the ways that the Episcopal Farm Ministry worked with our students. That was a really meaningful exchange. So thank you, and great job, team. Okay, next up we have team mentor Jane Rogers with the 700 Rivers team.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jane Rogers, and as Elizabeth just told you, I'm mentor to Team 700 Rivers. Since the inception of the Social Innovation Program in 2017, I have performed several different roles, from providing content development and feedback, to filling in for staff gaps, to selecting fellows and team assignments, to linking projects and team setups. But I'm most proud of serving as a team mentor for the past 3 years, and this year coaching other team mentors as well. My current student team, incredible, remarkable, and a lot of other accolades I can't even think at the moment to mention, but you'll see as I talk how I feel about them. My current student team has been investigating problems for the for-profit, privately held social enterprise 700 Rivers, and seeking solutions to these problems. Solutions not only to affect the company's brand and marketing of personal care products, handmade in Bangladesh, but also, and most importantly, to allow for increasing product orders and thus increased production, to enable the hiring and rehabilitation of more Bangladeshi women working to improve their lives and the lives of their families. These students have made many discoveries on their journey, discoveries about the project and about themselves. Through this team's diligence in research and problem solving, each has taught me about thinking and doing the extraordinary, while at the same time filling their professional and personal suitcases with more knowledge, skills, processes, ways to do things that make a difference for them and for our communities. Their engagement in this culture of entrepreneurism will create many jobs rather than just taking one. Now let me talk briefly about the students. To contribute further in creating positive social change, Nimet plans work in academia, where she will share in social innovation initiatives. Emanating self-assuredness, Haley wants to study environmental law, where her commitment, empathy, resilience, and passion will guide her. In designing her life, Deepti plans to more fully develop critical thinking skills and a more realistic, solution-driven approach to unexpected roadblocks, while building an even better network of resources to tackle social innovation and change, whether she's here in the US or in her home country of Oman. Adam, already unbelievably creative, will use confidence in his quick action, his ability to improvise, and his willingness to be flexible and optimistic wherever the need for social change takes him. A strong moral compass will guide him. Independent Michael values his use of science and technology to direct solid change. Still, he will always question everything. His most moral activity is to follow his passion, as long as it doesn't infringe on others to do likewise. Let's have Team 700 Rivers introduce themselves. First, serving as senior fellow and essential player, Nimet.
Hi, this is Nimet. I am a senior fellow, Nimet Dirmancioğlu. I am a PhD candidate at Wilson College of Textiles.
Hi, I'm Haley Paul. I'm a senior in environmental sciences with a minor in political science, and I hope to study environmental law. Deepti.
Hi everyone, I'm Deepti. I'm a grad student in the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department. Adam?
Hello everybody, I'm Adam Kanan, and I'm studying industrial design, pursuing my master's. Michael?
Everybody, I'm Michael Bowen, a senior studying chemical engineering and economics with minors in accounting and Spanish. And thank you to Jane and Nimet, and good evening SIF members, advisors, and supporters. We are Team 700 Rivers, and tonight we will be sharing key components of our 9-month journey working with a local for-profit social enterprise founded by the talented NC State alumnus, Kathy Gomez. Though we come from different backgrounds, each member of our team joined with one simple goal: to help 700 Rivers empower and support women free from sex trafficking and/or domestic abuse in Bangladesh. While this seems like an esoteric and remote problem to us in the US, it is far from insignificant. Currently, there is one sex worker per 1,150 people in Bangladesh. 126,000 of these workers remain in this trade against their will, and the vast majority have no systemic support, nowhere to live, and little to no education.
And while this problem is dire, there's never been more support for developing fair trade organizations. With over 120 storefronts, 50 personal care brands, and 3,000 organizations, companies have room to grow through opportunities of advocacy and online.
With increased interest in the fair trade scene and a dynamic market, 700 Rivers has opportunity to diversify, adding to its current product offering. We began our project when 700 Rivers was in transition, migrating its brand and product line from an aspirational fashion-oriented company upcycling used saris to a personal care brand, starting with bar soaps. Here, the impact envelops all of our objectives, what we are aiming for, and all of the components that we are working with in our project.
We joined 700 Rivers, assuming that we would support a nonprofit organization directly responsible for aiding the transition of women into rehabilitated artisans, making handmade goods produced only by 700 Rivers. In reality, 700 Rivers is a few steps removed. It acts as a co-designer and for-profit buyer, supporting decades-long missions and programs of a pre-existing network of international stakeholders. We spent many work sessions untangling a layered operational structure, mapping out the history of 700 Rivers and its partners. With much change already underway at 700 Rivers, we corrected our assumptions, seeking the best way for us to contribute in a complex business model.
To navigate this complicated corporate ecosystem, we began by revisiting our mission statement: to help empower and support the artisans in Bangladesh. Now, these women live over 8,000 miles away, so options were limited, but not trivial. By increasing 700 Rivers order quantities or contracting with novel fair trade certified suppliers, more women could be paid a consistent living wage. To do this, 700 Rivers would need to increase cash flow by developing sales channels and promoting customer loyalty. With this goal in mind, we created a list of deliverables that would help ease 700 Rivers into this new market, educate and inform stakeholders, and above all, remain centered on the people who matter most, the survivors.
While we recalibrated and identified these opportunities, our main concern, above all else, was how we could empower the artisans. As a buyer, 700 Rivers' most direct effect on its partners was and is increasing order quantities. This action channels consumer dollars directly to artisan rehabilitation programs. To increase sales, we would need to communicate 700 Rivers' story, info about product quality, and reduce costs, all the while focusing on protecting and respecting our artisans.
So we had endless ideas of what we could accomplish. Consider this: one student team with less than 1 year as fellows, thus priority and impact were of essence. So we worked in a two-pronged approach. Internally, we identified potential retailers, developed partnership goals, and examined company costs. And externally, we surveyed the market and drafted a focus group outline. We saw opportunity in diving deeper, perhaps sending a cultural probe kit to understand our partners and artisans in Bangladesh, or conducting focus groups ourselves. But due to time and resources, resource limitations, we were unable to do so. We included recommendations in our deliverables and suggested future projects for 700 Rivers to undertake where our work could assist it most.
The first component of our deliverables centered on a survey created by our team that allowed for the analysis of topical infographics and key insights. Though we had only 65 respondents, we were able to isolate 16 statistically significant relevant trends centering on consumer gender, location, marital status, and age. These trends, along with advisor insights, were further used to develop a focus group outline for use by 700 Rivers CEO.
Exploring how to help 700 Rivers, we realized that the brand could develop more personal connection and be more impactful with its fair trade partner, Property, thus encouraging deeper collaboration and understanding and potentially prioritizing future orders. We also identified the need for stronger partnerships, not only with its suppliers, but also with vendors to influence increased visibility in the marketplace and online. Evaluation of the supply chain also identified key factors that provided clarity for us. Since its fair trade partner is located in a developing country, factors like material sourcing and ethical practices are hard to trace and validate. Also, we saw the importance of educating end users about the artisans. This brings out empathy in people and makes them more aware of these women's real-life stories. In our theory of change, we identified key deliverables that would result in positive outcomes and yield impact. Most of our deliverables involve traditional techniques such as running focus groups and market analysis. Still, ultimately, they address the primary goal, which is to increase the number of women employed by the fair trade partner.
Our deliverables are items we're going to be giving to 700 Rivers, but our effort also made impacts on our team chemistry and priorities. This word cloud is a self-reflection exercise revealing how valuable being adaptable was for our process, how accountability ensured our commitment to one another, our fellows, and service to 700 Rivers. We strove to empathize in one another's visions and personal goals. In addition to sensitivity and respect, we were responsible in our collaborations with our venture and its community. The word nonlinear exemplifies where we consistently found ourselves pivoting. Nevertheless, we found our way to contribute together, discovering new parts of ourselves in this journey.
I joined the Social Innovation Fellows to explore how my passion for sustainability fit into the world of entrepreneurship. At first, I was out of my comfort zone, and for a long time after, I felt unworthy to work alongside my cohort. But with inspiration from staff and my team, I realized that I understood more than I thought. And when I started to believe in myself and value my past experiences, I became more excited to dive into our challenges and create solutions. I began to understand what it means to be an innovator, a leader, and a part of a team.
It's easy to learn about the issues people face in our society and feel hopeless, but when you're in a room full of problem solvers who are motivated to tackle these issues, you develop an everlasting innovative mindset, and that's what this program has done for me. I've learned about endurance from my incredible teammates, way too much to fit into this video, from my mentor Jane, and the importance of educating each other on these social issues and about social enterprises. I'm so thankful for this incredible experience, and I'm excited for the future of our cohort.
I joined this fellowship to work with any community in need on a personal level. And in the process, I proudly encouraged and participated in listening sessions and relationship building with the individuals we serve from across the globe. While this program has transformed my understanding of international social ventures, it has also prepared me to anticipate change and release my assumptions in service of a team and those in need.
I became a fellow because it gave me an opportunity and an outlet to make a real impact in my local community while continuing to develop myself personally and professionally. And in my last year at NC State, that was a big deal to me. The skills I've learned and the connections I've made have been great. But looking at the work of the fellows, mentors, and social entrepreneurs that I've gotten to sit side by side with has reminded me why I do what I do, and will inspire me for years to come. And to me, that's priceless.
So our team wants to, of course, thank our venture partner, Kathy Gomez, the CEO of 700 Rivers, our Brain Trust consultants, Patricia Page, Jennifer Capps, and Miles Wright, Social Innovation Fellows staff, especially Elizabeth and Alicia, but also Craig, Jack, and Aspen. You guys are awesome. And above all else, our senior fellow Nemette and team mentor Jane for their continued support, guidance, and passion for the program. And lastly, we want to say special thank yous to our survivors who work hard daily to improve their own lives. Though oceans separate us, these women inspire our team. They are role models in their own right, and it's been an honor to work with them. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team 700 Rivers. That was really beautifully done. And thank you, Kathy Gomez, who is an NC State alum, for being part of this effort. That was awesome. Okay, next up, we have Miles Wright and the R-Wave team.
Well, thank you. This is a day I look forward to each year, hearing these, all the projects that people are working on, and I would be remiss if I didn't start by thanking the folks at the Institute. Y'all do a great job, and in the 3 years that I've been involved in this program, I see it iterate and grow and change each year, and it's pretty exciting to see just each year how different and vibrant, and it's hard to even to describe how much it's growing and changing. So thank y'all for all that you do. We had an incredible team this year, starting with our venture partner, Kyle Litton, and the folks at Our Wave are amazing. This is a group of people who get together every Wednesday night, and through the last year, approximately, they have done something to move the needle for survivors of sexual assault. And I'll let the team talk about what that is, but I have nothing but deep respect for what they've built and the sensitivity and passion that they've brought to this. It's truly amazing and inspirational. I want to give a shout out to Alyssa Buchanan. She is, for all the times that I would maybe use way more words, she always picked the right ones and was always very succinct. She was technically a senior fellow, but she's actually, I think Andrew said it best, she's a co-mentor in this process. I also think you got it right when you talked a little bit about the fact that we probably get more out of this program than we give back to it. In my case, I know that is definitely true. This group of 5 people I worked with this year, 6 really, they were as talented in leadership as any group at NC State I've ever worked with. We've got 3 seniors on the team and 2 juniors. And what was amazing from almost day one was the ways, without any structure, without any prompting, people would step into leadership roles and just naturally had a DNA and a rhythm to it that looked like it was a group that had been working together for years. I don't see that in the business world. Seldom do I see it in the academic world, and I could not thank more of the 5 students that are part of our team. We'll start with Maddie Hornsby. She's a junior business major concentrating in entrepreneurship. She's everybody's friend. She's a light, and she works as hard as any person that I probably know. Zach Hover, he's funny. He's incredibly sharp. He is graduating this year in public relations and communication with a concentration in public relations, and I know he's also looking for summer, or not summer, but long-term employment, and I would love to be able to hire him myself. He's absolutely wonderful. A person that I think of in our group that has this kind of quiet intensity is Rebecca Jones. She just, we heard earlier that she parted with her wisdom teeth recently, but she is about to start something very interesting as a senior graduating in veterinary medicine. She's about to start her virtual clinical rotations in a couple of weeks. So I can't imagine what that would be like in that world. She's a superstar. Jackie Lanning is also graduating in biology with a focus on public health. Just as solid and smart and part of the connective tissue of our team. Jackie has just been there every step of the way, and when something needs to be done, she just does it. And last and certainly not least is Mia Tidet. She is a junior psychology major. Kudos to her for reaching the round of 16 with the Wolfpack soccer team. Mia is always smiling, one of the happiest people that you cannot be around her without feeling a little better yourself. But she's also got a quiet, sneak up on you intensity and intelligence that, again, throughout the team, everybody takes a leadership role. So as you can probably tell, I'm pretty amazed by them. So without any further ado, I'll turn it over to them.
Thank you, Miles. Hi, everyone. I'm Mia Tijet, and like Miles just said, I'm a junior studying psychology.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie Lanning. I'm a senior studying biology with a focus on public health and a minor in international studies.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Hover. I am a senior studying communication with a concentration in public relations and a minor in biology.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie Hornsby. I am a junior studying business administration, focusing on entrepreneurship.
Hi everyone, I am a veterinary student. I will be finishing my third year and my last ever final on Friday, and as Miles said, entering virtual online clinics through the summer.
So before we begin our presentation, we would like to acknowledge our WAVE's focus is on empowering sexual assault survivors and helping them on their journey of healing. We understand this is a sensitive topic and may be triggering. Feel free to step away at any time during this presentation.
Okay, so Our Wave is an online platform that offers sexual assault survivors the opportunity to share their stories anonymously and to build a community through shared storytelling. Survivors can upload their stories, and they can also share a message of hope for other survivors. The mission of Our Wave is focused on assisting survivors through their journey of healing, which they believe is fostered through acts of writing, storytelling, and offering hope to others.
Our Wave has three main goals. It's to empower survivors, educate society, and mobilize communities. In order to broaden the scope of it all, we wanted to create a world without sexual assault, while also helping current and future survivors in their journey to healing. And we are currently working on a survey that allows us to provide more data to Our Wave and carry out this Our Wave's unique mission as a brand new organization.
We felt the best way to describe where we stood during this project was to do an environmental scan, which focused on research through literature reviews, feedback from those survivors on the subject matter, and exploring similar platforms and using that discovery for knowledge around altering the existing platform.
So with that approach, I think the most impactful part of our journey was a lot of the labs, the innovation labs that we did, including our mapping resources and stakeholders and imagining our customer's journey. What we really realized in those times is that we had so many untapped resources, both locally and nationally, that Our Wave was working really hard to reach out to, but there are just so few people that are untouched by this problem. We felt that there were a lot more doors and connections that we could open for them. And the other thing that we realized is we didn't really know who our ideal site visitor was. We actually found that there were a few online platforms for people to share stories, but that Our Wave was really unique in their design, on their focus on security and anonymity. And we really wanted to explore how could we tailor this site more to a specific user. We found a lot of interesting feedback as we worked that while this tool could be really helpful in healing to some, there's always a possibility with such a sensitive subject of this being almost re-traumatizing and harmful. And so we kind of started to position ourselves to be this almost impartial kind of second party that worked in parallel to Our Wave to kind of explore these issues a little bit further, with a little more distance of it not being our baby, and seeing how we could look further into connecting those resources and who our ideal person would be to use this.
So after the mid-year point, we decided to take a step back and really focus on the basic things that we could do to help Our Wave really thrive. So after the design thinking lab and doing some more research as a team, we realized that Our Wave could really benefit from gaining a clear idea on what type of person is really going to benefit most and engage with Our Wave the most. This launched us into the second phase of our project of digging deeper to define the ideal consumer. We drew inspiration from this quote as a reminder that even though Our Wave might not benefit every single community, it does have the potential to help a very large number of survivors, and those are the people that they should really hone in on.
Sorry, I was muted. So how we worked, we reviewed the initial survey that Our Wave conducted they conducted the survey through various Reddit channels. So we reviewed that, and we kind of found that after discussing with them as well, that there was a little bit of push in one direction for the questions, a little bit of bias there. So after discussing with Our Wave kind of what they needed and what we kind of wanted to do, we found that the best way for us to utilize the remainder of our time working with this project as Social Innovation Fellows was to produce a second survey and conduct it and which would allow us to get more data and more information from survivors and supporters, so that Our Wave can move forward having a little bit more informed ideas on where to go from there. Our survey kind of focused a lot on the need, the usability, and what resources were good for supporters and survivors. And then we also wanted to implement other methods of research. So we conducted a speak aloud with a few peers, and Jackie will talk both about the survey and the speak alouds a little bit more, kind of what we found. And then we also took all this information, summarized it, and presented it to Our Wave, which now allows them to take the next steps and move forward with all the information that we are going to or have provided to them.
So what do we find? We conducted first think aloud interviews, which were 8 qualitative interviews where participants walked through the website and just simply shared whatever thoughts came to their mind, what they liked, what they didn't like, where were questions. And we summarized all those details and presented the Our Wave team with common themes, and so they can go back and improve the website so more users can use the tool as an effective healing in their healing journey. So our common themes was first, there was a positive response to the overall layout and look of the website, showing that the Our Wave brand is already a great starting point. And so where can we go back and just clean up some of those edges? For example, there were some features on the website that people had questions about. For example, there was a grounding activity, which was a foreign word to some people. And so one of our recommendations was to go back and provide a simple explanation of what that feature is. And then also throughout the site, people didn't realize that the stories were anonymous. And we believe that that is one of the most important parts and one of the most interesting parts about the RWay website and what makes them different from the rest of the tools out there. And so hopefully with the information found from these interviews, the RWay's brand can stand out stronger and more users can use the website with ease. In addition to what people have been mentioning throughout this PowerPoint, is that we also went back and created an anonymous online survey. We're still waiting for those results to come through. Social distancing put a delay on that part of the process, but it did not stop us as a team, and we look forward to providing RWay with those results as a deliverable after the semester ends. But the goal of the survey was to create a defined vision for who would most likely interact with the RWay website. What were the common demographics, and how do these people feel about storytelling as a means of healing? And so we plan to disseminate this online survey through different message boards and group chats of survivor groups. And so we hope that this information can be taken forward with the RWave team to make this website an even more powerful platform.
So my experience with the Social Innovations Fellows was extremely impactful. I was able to learn and reflect about a wide range of topics with a wonderful group of kind people. I'm so proud of the work that we have accomplished over the past year and the friends that I have gained.
Working as a Social Innovation Fellow this year, I've learned how valuable and insightful it can be to work with a diverse and cross-disciplinary team. Like Maddie said, it's a wonderful group of kind people, and I'm so grateful I got to meet all of these individuals. It was really inspiring to work with such passionate and driven people as well in RWave. And overall, it's just been an unforgettable experience that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
One of the larger lessons I learned through working with this team and the Social Innovation Fellows was how important it is to stop and reflect before acting, and how important it is to learn about the issue and take time to evaluate the different ways to address an issue and what will be the most impactful one. As someone who gets energized by diving in deep head first into projects, that was something that just hearing the thoughtful questions from my team and the time we took to really step back and think about what we're doing really inspired me to take that on into my own life.
I also can echo that it was really wonderful to work with such a passionate group of people in different fields. It's really easy to get lost in my little bubble over on the vet school's campus. And this was a really impactful and insightful opportunity. I learned a lot about, I think, flexibility and adaptability. We had a whole plan with focus groups and all these things we wanted to do that we kind of had to work around and see what we could still do in the face of COVID. And I'm really impressed with my group and what we came up with in that time. And I also learned a lot about how it's important to really be honest with what your expectations are for an experience. I think we learned a lot as a group that we were capable of a lot, and it was really important for us to communicate the value that we thought that we could bring throughout and really believe in ourselves. That was really cool to see come together.
Yeah, along with Jackie and Rebecca, I learned a lot about kind of finding your footing and making sure that you are being true to the value that you can bring, as well as expressing what you're interested in and staying true to what the company, client, consumer, venture partner, whoever it is also interested in having you do. We learned a lot about it being a joint project and making sure that we are doing the best work that we can, that is not only benefiting us throughout learning and these individual journeys, but also benefiting our venture partner, because that is a whole other component to this program, is making sure that you are doing the best work that you can for the venture partners. But it taught me a lot about making sure that you are asking the right questions and finding that footing before you really jump headfirst in, but also it's okay to jump headfirst. Take that step back later on and find that footing once you've realized that you kind of need it. But yeah, we want to give a huge thank you to our mentors, Miles and Elisa, who have always had our backs and encouraged us to grow, to our partners at R-Wave, and especially Kyle for always having time for us, to Elizabeth, Craig, Aspen, Jack, and Alicia, for coordinating this incredible learning opportunity and this incredible program that we got to go through together, and our fellow fellows for being a constant source of inspiration for us this year. It's been an honor working with all of you, and this is a great way for me to end my senior year, and I know that I can speak for Rebecca and Jackie as well, that it's been a great opportunity and a great way to end our senior years.
Thank you, R-Wave. And again, a special shout out to Kyle Litton, who is the founder of R-Wave, an NC State alum, a serial entrepreneur, known to many of us, and he's given so much service back to his university, to all of us in the short amount of time he's been an alum. So thank you. Our final team is Brian Spate and the Haiti Goat team.
So, of course, I'm Brian Spade, and I have the honor of introducing the 2019-2020 Haiti Goat team. Many of you may know the Haiti Goat project is one of the returning ventures from last year. And our team was very fortunate to have a returning team member who was at least in our social contract. She agreed to be our organizer. Marcy?
Hi, everyone. I'm Marcy. I'm a first-year graduate student in the College of Design, majoring in graphic design, and I'm the senior fellow for this team.
Turns out Marcy was much more than just our senior fellow or organizer. She was our team's compass, and she fit very well as our leader. She kept us focused on task and well organized as a team. Quite honestly, there's no telling what we would be showing you today without her leadership. I would also like to introduce Grace.
Hi, everybody. I'm Grace Herndon, and I'm a graduating master's student in the College of Design, and my major is also graphic design.
At first, to me, Grace always seemed like the quiet one. But as it turns out, what she was actually doing was she was over there crafting images and diagrams in her head of all of our discussions. Eventually, during our meetings, her creative dam of sorts would eventually break, and it would give way to an elaborate depiction of our concepts and some very nicely drawn infographic style drawing. She's quite talented at combining our thoughts in a way that, as each one of us looked at it, we immediately just got it. Our meeting note taker is Leah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Flanders. I am a sophomore in the College of Natural Resources, and I am majoring in sustainable materials and technology.
Always at our meetings with a listening ear, Leah was constantly converting many times our lofty, fluffy, white cloud type conversation and ideas into hard letters that were bulletized and organized. While she never intended to stop the creative process, she would be leaving behind trails of thought and discovery, and sometimes even our misdirections, which just ensured that we probably wouldn't go down that path twice. Our documenter is actually Victoria.
Hey everyone, my name is Victoria Fuda and I'm a sophomore in the College of Natural Resources. I'm majoring in Parks, Recreation, Tourism Management, Sustainable Tourism with minors in Environmental Science and Global Health.
And team, how many times do we have one of these lengthy meetings resulting in a perfectly drawn infographic that somebody finally state, wait, we need a picture of this. I only had Victoria say, yeah, I've already taken it. I've already uploaded it to the team folder. I've taken care of everything. But Victoria's other role, which was not really on our social contract, was that of ambassador, at least until a planned trip to Haiti finally succumbed to the COVID-19 effects and was eventually canceled. Victoria was on her way to represent our team and see firsthand what great things the Haiti Goat Project is doing for Haitian kids and schools and the economy. But maybe next year, Victoria. I'd also like to introduce Yasmitha.
Hi guys, my name is Yashmita and I'm a sophomore looking to major in business administration with a concentration in marketing.
While not on our social contract was the role of Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades, spirit enhancer, or maybe attitude adjuster. Call a role whatever you want. Yasmitha smiled and took that role without ever being asked. Yasmitha came in every meeting with a great attitude and a willingness to take any task. And as a mentor, I actually enjoyed seeing her float between a leadership role to a doer role and gracefully floating back. Whatever the team needed at that moment. Yasmitha's talents and attitude taught us a lot about what it takes to be an effective part of a team. And finally, I'd like to introduce Shar Farron, our venture partner.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shar Farron. I'm the founder of Haiti Goat Project, so I'm the venture partner for the group, and I'm also a faculty member in the Department of Animal Science.
Without Shar, we wouldn't even have Haiti Goat program. But more importantly, many more Haitian children would be hungry and malnourished. Shar selfishly gives of her talents in animal science for a much greater good, and collectively, we really should all strive to use our respective talents in such positive ways. Now, little personal inside joke on each one of them. So whether it's Marcy's impressive tech-savvy home, Grace's high school hair rope award, nobody asked her for pictures, she can produce them in 30 seconds. Leah's superpowers to destroy electronic devices whenever trying to connect to just a meeting. Victoria's lifelong travel log, which I bet is impressive, has a few blank pages yet still for a Haiti Goat trip that maybe need filling in. Or Yasmitha's 007 level secretiveness about her sorority, we still have questions. Or Shar's ability to bring 50 kids into the world at once is also quite impressive. We certainly learned a lot about the Haiti Goat Project, each other, and mainly ourselves. It is my pleasure to introduce the Haiti Goat team.
Thank you so much, Brian. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off, and we are just so excited to share our journey with you. So for those of you who don't know, the Haiti Goat Project is a nonprofit organization whose primary mission is to alleviate child malnutrition in Haiti. And it does that in 3 ways. The first is they provide meals of goat chili or chili cabrit in Haitian schools. They also improve goat genetics in local herds in Haiti, and they support economic growth by buying vegetables and selling and buying goats to stimulate the local economy.
So how did we get here? When we first started this project, we had a billion ideas for what we wanted to accomplish, but after a lot of talking, we decided to focus on how we could help our audience. We started by using the 5 W's and brainstorming who, what, when, where, why, how our project could take place. Some of this information was readily available to us through Shar and the data that Haiti Goat Project had collected over the past few years, and we used that information to come up with different ideas and directions that we could take our work. We knew that we wanted to help educate our US audience while also helping our audience in Haiti. And to do that, we wanted to avoid making assumptions and directly ask the team in Haiti what would be useful to them.
Okay, so with all of our different ideas and interests and backgrounds, we use the concept of the practicality funnel to help us sift through our thoughts to figure out which road to take. We wanted to make sure that our project was effective and productive at the same time. With all of our different strengths and our backgrounds in mind, we decided that we should focus on a communication project. So at the end of last semester, we spoke on the phone with Mitza, who works on the ground with the Haiti Goat team in Haiti. And we went to her because we wanted to get a better understanding of what was going on in Haiti and how we could help in the best way. So the main takeaways from our communication with Mitza and the other team members in Haiti was that we needed to better communicate the value of Chili Cabri and Haiti Goat Project in Haitian and US communities to increase awareness, understanding, and funding as well. With that, we also learned that our target audience in Haiti would be the school administration and the parents of the students, which allowed us to develop the proper resources.
So after talking with Mitza and the rest of the on-ground team in Haiti, we realized that there were 3 big components that needed to go into our communication project, and those 3 components are messaging content, visual content, and data and statistics. All 3 of these things are now being used to communicate the value of Chili Cabri to Haitians. In mid-February, our venture partner Shar went to Haiti to not only check on the goats that were pregnant and now have birthed 50 goat children, we also sent her down with a list of questions that Victoria briefly touched on that we needed answers to. Essentially, they were questions like, how much money do you send with your child to school for lunch? What would create you to want to purchase Chili Cabri for your child, etc.? And we gained a lot of valuable insight thanks to Shar for getting those questions answered.
So after constantly touching base with the team in Haiti and talking to Shar about the actual needs of Haiti Goat Project, like Leah mentioned, we came up with this idea of a communication toolkit, kind of a kit of parts that we would be able to pass on. And we called this folder that we started the big folder. And when we started adding content, it became kind of a joke to call it the bigger folder. So this is our final product, the bigger folder. As we started adding content, we used the messaging folder to write a document that was targeted towards the US and a document targeted towards Haiti. So that's going to be language that can be appropriated and used in different contexts in the future. The visual folder became photos from Haiti, as well as open source stock photos that can be used in any sort of marketing. The branding that Marcy and the SIF team last year actually created, and any graphics or infographics that we created along the way, including icons. The data and statistics folder became information on the region and actual nutritional information on Chili Cabri, which is highly valuable when talking to schools in Haiti as well as US populations. So when you zoom out, this is our entire journey from how did we get here to the bigger folder. I think we are really surprised with what we were able to come up with and really proud of our final product. And our entire goal was the sustainability of this project, that it wouldn't stand alone, but that it would be something that we could pass on to future SIF fellows and everyone who works at Haiti Goat Project to be able to utilize.
So what did we learn? The first thing that we all learned, coming into this, we all didn't know what to expect. But with that, we learned that it's harder to get moving than we thought, but all the process is important. And we were unsure about how the group dynamics would unfold. And then we later learned that the group dynamics unfolded extremely well, and we worked together great. We also learned to have confidence in the team and trust that we will all make good decisions. and that a common goal is a powerful motivator and a bonding agent, which would be the Haiti Goat Project.
So we also learned that it's all about getting to the heart of it. So the importance of understanding the bigger picture and then narrowing down. I can't tell you how many times we were saying, wait, we need to zoom out. And then like, no, we need to zoom in here. So constantly checking back and forth between those two and trying to find all directions to look at it. And then just as a part of that, embracing the mess and the uncertainty, endless possibilities, and trying to really maintain a scope throughout the project.
Throughout this experience, we also wanted to make sure that our goals were aligned with the people that we were trying to help, because that was really the heart of this project. So we kept that in mind, and we also used what we call the practicality funnel. So we narrowed down all of these gigantic ideas that we had to what we could accomplish within this school year and what we believed would have the longest lasting impact, which is what got us to the biggest folder.
So the third and final category of our sort of major takeaways was that working together is key. So we sort of used this divide and conquer mindset, but kept in mind that it's really important to play to the strengths and the interests of each team member. And we also found that it was important in our reflection that, you know, we didn't really want to predetermine what project success looked like at the individual level. We wanted to let the group decide and kind of trust that the process would lead us somewhere great.
We also learned that what isn't always the most important thing is having solutions. We learned that asking the right questions is often very beneficial and effective, just because it leads you to unexpected places and different ideas that you never would have had in the first place. And another thing that we learned was that finding a way to express ideas works for us, and it lays a common ground. So as we discussed earlier, using diagrams and visualizations to get those ideas and thoughts onto paper was extremely helpful for us throughout the entire process.
So then, in closing, I'd like to just say on behalf of all that are involved in the Haiti Goat Project, that I'd like to thank all the members of this social innovation team from this year: Marcy, Grace, Leah, Yashmita, Victoria, and of course our courageous team mentor, Brian. Students, you've all have created a really nice set of resources for the Haiti Goat Project, and we're going to be able to use those resources really well in our advertising in the upcoming year. So I really look forward to that. Also, it's really been great working with you all as a team. You are super talented and wonderfully creative, and it was just really nice to see how you all came together, and then you just started getting the work done. It was just really fantastic, and week in and week out you were just really dedicated. And so I do wish you all the best as you pursue your next steps in the realm of social innovation. And with that, I'd like to also say thank you, particularly to the Social Innovation Program under Elizabeth Benefield's direction. It's just been incredible watching the program grow over the last couple of years. And Elizabeth, you've just done so much good with this program. And last but not least, I'd like to also acknowledge our fearless mentor this year, Brian Spate. He has just done a really great job on his mentoring for the team. And I would like to quote Brian, as he always reminded us, meeting in and meeting out. Remember, be the goat.
Thank you, Haiti Goat team. That was awesome. Thank you, Shar. As most of you know, this is our third year with the Haiti Goat team. And so we've had 3 different fellows groups work with you, and we are so appreciative of your investment in our work and in the students. So thank you. That was a great job. So, you know, if I could, I'd fill a whole evening of accolades for these students and these team mentors and these venture partners. The mentors, you all have spent literally hours of volunteer time supporting these students, coaching their ventures, and we're indebted to each of you. I celebrate and honor each of our fellow graduates. I wish that we were together with hugs and handshakes and wine, but we're all holding you up, and I'm so tremendously proud of each of you. And I have the honor now of introducing Jeff Braden, the Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, who will offer us closing remarks. And I just want to say thank you to Dean Braden, who has enabled this program to grow and to thrive on our campus, and we have much more to go. And so we thank you and look forward to a continuing strong relationship with you, and with all due appreciation to Chas for Chas's support. So I'll turn it over to you, Dean Braden, to close.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and thank you to everyone. I think the provost has already noted a number of things I was going to say. NC State is in the top 10 of entrepreneurship campuses, and frankly, Social Innovation Fellows is a big part of that. The visibility it's garnered through winning the Campus Sustainability Award is just part of that. Social Innovation Fellows embodies the interdisciplinary work to solve grand challenges, one of our strategic goals, as evidenced by the focus on the UN Sustainability Goals. And more importantly, the challenges these teams tackled. The importance of Social Innovation Fellows to this university is also proven by the fact that I notice we have a 1-to-1 ratio of campus leaders to students on this call. I think that tells you a lot about how valued you are in your teams. Like Mia, I'm a psychology major, specifically. I'm an educational psychologist, and my career is really devoted to trying to answer the question, how do people learn? And we know that learners learn best when they engage in deep and transformational learning, being active rather than being passive. Transforming information into knowledge is effortful, it's value-driven, personally and socially meaningful, and requires constant effort to resolve ambiguity. In short, it's uncomfortable and it's damned hard work. Much like a fitness center, what you get out of it is what you put into it. And if I follow that analogy, these teams, dang it, y'all are Olympic athletes. You are getting out of it because you put so much into it. I'm really overwhelmed that each group articulated its values and showed how those values guided what you did. Groups had to iterate multiple understandings of the problems, come up with multiple solutions, and as you sustained that cycle, you worked hard to resolve differences of opinion and style and resolve increasing complexity in order to try and come to a practical and sustainable problem. What I see in these presentations are the fruits of those efforts, not only to the problems and the communities they target, but to you, the team individual members, and you as learners yourselves. But I will say nobody learns alone. So towards that end, I want to recognize first and foremost the students in these teams. You challenged yourselves and you challenged each other to bring your A game, and it shows. It shows big time. I also want to thank the venture partners who gave these teams the chance and the challenge to tackle real world problems. I want to particularly thank the mentors who listened, who guided and supported these teams. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize university leaders like my boss, Warwick Arden, Tom Miller, and others who create the climate and the culture where social innovation thrives. I also want to note Elizabeth. She's an amazing leader. Trace and other supporters and staff and stakeholders related to the Institute for Nonprofits. And finally, once again, I want to thank the teams. You all showed us how to think and do the extraordinary and think and do good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dean Braden. And with that, we will close our program. Stay tuned for some highlight reels that we will publish and share with all of you. And again, my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Let's stay in touch and stay safe, everybody. Good night.